Good morning, afternoon or evening everyone, my name is Kualajimbo and this is the first of hopefully many monthly episodes of No Man's Sky News. For those of you who don't know what No Man's Sky is, No Man's Sky is going to be an indie game, possibly the most ambitious indie game since Minecraft. First, I'm going to tell you about what No Man's Sky is. No Man's Sky is a procedurally generated universe. The aim of the game is to explore. You go to all these different planets, see all these different species, all these different amazing sites that are procedurally generated. And I suppose you can call it one of the primary aims of the game is to get to the center of the universe. However, it is also said that that is not all that the game is about, and actually the creators of No Man's Sky are actually trying to avoid telling you what to do. The aim of this game is to create your own story. Now it's time to delve into the features of No Man's Sky. Some features of No Man's Sky include unique planets with different colors, different plants, different species. Unique species is also one of the many features. Throughout every planet you go to, there will be native flora and fauna on those planets, and every plant, every animal is completely unique. The game will also feature a star map of the universe around you. At the beginning of the game, every planet in your star map will be unknown, undiscovered, unexplored. But you share the same star map as everyone else who is playing the game, who is spawned in the same universe. So when you discover a planet, you can choose to broadcast that information, to share it with everybody else who's playing. And as a result, anyone else who visits that planet will be reminded that you are the one that discovered it, because your name will forever be linked to that planet, or to that part of the planet, or to the species on the planet that you saw first. When you play detailed games, sometimes you look up into the sky and you might see another planet. On a really detailed game, you might see little grooves that are the mountains and valleys of that planet. No Man's Sky is so detailed, you can see planets on the horizon, you can see the bumps and lumps that are the mountains of that planet. You can then get in a ship, fly to that planet, and the landscape will be exactly the way you saw it. One of the best features are there are no loading screens. You can fly from planet to planet, from solar system to solar system, and you will not encounter a single loading screen. Lastly, this universe is completely populated by AI, some hostile, some passive. From the looks of some of the trailers that have been released so far, it looks like that's going to make for some pretty epic space battles. Now, this game seems pretty awesome, but a lot of people think that it isn't going to work out the way the developers want it to, because there are really only 4 people working on this massive game. I mean, when you consider that hundreds and hundreds of people work on a game like Grand Theft Auto, and their city is, really only a city side, and then you hear that 4 people are making an entire universe, it can seem pretty unbelievable. But you better believe it, because they have quite an interesting tactic to tackle this. I think where most people are getting confused is most people think that these 4 people are going to hand create these millions upon millions of planets. But in fact, they're not handcrafting anything. They are using mathematical equations to procedurally generate everything. So what that means is that a planet will be generated based off algorithms. Every species is created from a genesis. So basically a developer will hand create sort of like a mold for a creature, but then once it's generated, it won't just be the mold that generates. So let's say they create a mold for a fish, but then they might have a slider for the color of the fish, a slider for the side, a slider for, a feature like maybe the size of the fins, the size of the eyes, the size of the teeth. And whenever you find a new species of that same fish, They can be millions and millions of alterations. It's like creating your own character in, let's say, The Sims. You have all these sliders and there are millions of variations depending on how you position those sliders. That's how No Man's Sky works. It automatically picks the point of each slider and it just generates that species like that. Now, lastly, not all the universe will exist at once. I know this doesn't make an awful lot of sense, but basically it's not randomly generated. It's all procedurally made, which means that it's all based off mathematical algorithms. So when you're at a planet, that planet will be procedurally generated. It will look at all the math that needs to go into it and it will use that math to create the planet. Once you leave that planet and once it is truly out of sight, that planet will actually cease to exist. It will just disappear. The most popular comparison is if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, does it still make a sound? In this case, no. The planet will just simply not exist unless someone's there or someone is looking at it. So if I am at a planet and I fly away and it becomes a race and somebody else comes, they will still have the exact same planet that I visited generated because it's procedurally generated with algorithms and math. And it doesn't matter that somebody else is looking at it, the math is still exactly the same. It's like asking what's 2 plus 2. It will always be 4. No matter what circumstances, no matter who you ask, the correct answer will always be 4. Okay, so now that I've mentioned some of the features and how it works, let's talk about gameplay. Players start on their own planet, a planet that has not been discovered yet. What you'll be trying to be doing in this game is ultimately survive in a dangerous universe. You do this by upgrading your ship, upgrading the suit that you wear, and you do this by collecting minerals throughout these planets or hunting animals. As mentioned before, everyone gets a star map that is completely unknown when they start the game, and if you discover something you can choose to broadcast the location of that planet and all its credentials, you know, whether it's inhabitable, whether it's radioactive, whether there are resources there or not. So if you discover like a really awesome planet, then you can broadcast that to everyone, and whenever someone visits that planet, they will know that you discovered it. Your name will pop up. It will have a name, which I'm assuming is also procedurally generated, and it will have under that discovered by, followed by your name. So in my case, if I discovered a planet, you would say, you know, Alderon, discovered by Kualajimbo. Now, one of the objectives of this game, one of the many objectives, is to get to the center of the universe. Everyone starts on a planet on the outer ring. The closer you are to the center of the universe, the harder the game will get. You know, the more uninhabitable the planets will get, the more stronger the native flora and fauna will get. You know, basically the crazier the gameplay will get. But that's kind of the point of the game, is that you upgrade your ship, you upgrade your suit, so that you're more suited to conditions closer to the center of the universe. And it's kind of like a race. People want to be the first one to get there and see what's at the center of the universe. But it has been mentioned many times that this is not the only point to the game. There's so much stuff to do. And even if you do get to the center of the universe, that is not all there is to do. You can continue to play on from that. There will still be so much that can be done. Now, I mentioned that everyone will be playing in the same universe, but what exactly does that mean? Does this mean it's a multiplayer game? Well, yes. Technically, everyone's playing in the same universe, so it is possible to come into contact with other players, but it's not a case of, oh, my friend is playing, I'm gonna go meet up with them. Even if you and your friend are on the same planet, it will be very difficult to find them because some of the planets are the size of Earth, even bigger. So it's not exactly a social game. You might occasionally bump into another player. Whether you'll even know they're another player, I'm not sure. And I'm not sure how rare such an occurrence would be. But I'm hoping that if we do run into other players, they will be friendly. Give a good old wave instead of a pow. Seriously, we're all trying to discover the universe, let's be friendly. Next, I want to discuss the size of No Man's Sky to you. Basically, This universe is massive. It is huge. The developers have said that if you were to visit one planet in this universe every second, that our sun would die before you'd see them all. If you want to meet up with friends, or if you want to meet up with anyone really, that should be considered impossible, because you could be light years apart from each other. You know, when you see a star in the distance, like a little speck, one single pixel in the sky, you can fly there. It might take a while, but you can fly there, and that will be a sun, and that might have its own solar system around it. Now, if you look at these trailers and you look at the sky, you look at all the stars, that's a lot of stars. And once you're there, you can see even more. This game is just crazy huge. I bet there are people who think they're going to get their hands on this game and it will take them, 12 solid hours to reach the center of the universe. I just simply think that's not going to happen. You are going to need to invest a lot of time into this game if you ever do want to reach the center of the universe, because the universe is going to be so huge, so massive, that I bet even if you did get the best hyperdrive within the first few minutes of the game, and even if you were flying as quickly as you could, I bet it would still take longer than 12 hours without stop to get to the center of the universe. I don't know that as a fact, but that's just an assumption based on the size that the developers are talking about. Now, there is a great mystery when it comes to No Man's Sky, and I'm going to discuss that great mystery with you right now. The great mystery of No Man's Sky is exactly the same as the great mystery with our own universe. No one knows what exactly is out there. Now, the reason I call this the great mystery is because not even the developers are completely sure what's out there. They have created a set of laws that will create a universe for them, but they do not know what is in this universe. Even developers who are testing this out will fly through their universe and see the most amazing things that they never would have expected they'd see in this game. They have AI pilots flying around and taking screenshots just to give themselves a better perception on what is actually in their own universe. So that is the great mystery, and that is the mystery that us as players are going to try and solve. Figure out what is out there. What are the possibilities of this universe? What are the biggest creatures, the smallest creatures? What is at the center of the universe? Now, there is still plenty to be announced. Hello Games are keeping awfully tight-lipped about this because they don't want to give away too much about the game. They want players to get in there and discover it for themselves, which is good for a developer to do, but it kind of sucks for us fans because we want to know stuff. So I'm going to keep a very close eye on their activity, and hopefully every month I will have something new to talk about that will be within the game No Man's Sky. Now, at the moment, I believe the consoles this game will be out for are the PlayStation 4 and PC. Judging by the fact that Sony have their own trailer uploaded, and that it was during Sony's press conference that No Man's Sky was announced at E3, I would bet my bottom dollar that it is going to be a PlayStation 4 game, and I hope, I beg of Hello Games, that it will also be on PC. If it is not on PC, I will be very cross. Now, because it is an indie game, there is not yet a confirmed release date. It is rumored to be sometime in 2015, and that would probably make a lot of sense. But this is a massive game, so it could be a while. Or it could just be a matter of a month. Either way, I'm kualajimbo, and I vow to keep you updated on all No Man's Sky news. See you next month.